Are some hypnotherapists better than others? Yes, absolutely 100%, and for lots of different reasons. First of all, if a hypnotherapist is charging by sessions and they sell packs of 3, 6, 9, 12 sessions, that means that when you go to see a hypnotherapist that's selling sessions, they may have another 5 or 6 or 7 clients during the day, which means that as far as you're concerned, at the end of the hour, it's that's it, Paul, up you go, out. See you the next session. What happens if you're just on the cusp of a breakthrough, if you're just right close to get into the answer that you needed? Not going to happen because the therapist has said, that's it, I've got another client now, off you go. Another problem with people that sell in packages is if they're selling you a pack of 6 sessions, that means they're going to string out the process for 6 sessions. So how on earth, if you could get the result in 1 session, should you be selling another 5 sessions to that client? So to me, that's not good therapy. If it's counseling or psychotherapy and talk therapy, absolutely you might need 6 or 12 or 25 or whatever number of sessions. But when you're coming to see a hypnotherapist for a particular problem, you shouldn't be buying packs of sessions because it doesn't need to happen that way. Also, if the hypnotherapist is clock watching, if the hypnotherapist plugs you in some headphones, plays a tape, sticks some incense on and some soft music in the background, why is the hypnotherapist there at all? They're just letting you listen to a script that's already pre-recorded. And you can get that off of YouTube for free. You have to buy your own incense, but you can do it for free. That's not a good hypnotherapist to me. A hypnotherapist that plugs you into a system and lets you listen to a recording is not a good therapist. It's a one size fits all and it's generic and it's not going to help you. If a hypnotherapist is not confident in the work they're doing, if they've got no confidence at all in what they're doing, if they're very kind of shy and introverted, if they've got their own collection of issues to deal with, if they've niched down and they're too close. Say, for example, you've come to a therapist because you've got PTSD and they've also got PTSD and haven't dealt with it, then it could be too difficult for them to get close enough to help you because they get too involved, they get too emotional themselves, and they're unable to maintain that clarity of thought. If the therapist is in a rush, they're due to finish at 5 o'clock, 5:15 because they're going out for dinner that night, and you get in and you already get the sense, again, I don't know how this works, you pick up this thing by osmosis of hearing things kind of being speeded up or whatever. If the therapist is a guy and they act inappropriately when you see them face to face, that's a terrible therapist. I abhor people like that. Yeah. If a therapist tries to do something that is inappropriate, then that is not a good therapist. There's no need for it, and you should report them immediately. People that don't know what they're doing, people that don't practice, people that don't continue their learning, people that have got one system, and however perfect or imperfect that system is, that's all they do. They don't learn, they don't practice, they don't grow, they don't ask questions, they don't read. A really bad therapist is someone who doesn't get a result and then blames the client. You were being too resistant. You hadn't done this, you hadn't done that, you hadn't done the other. And they put all the blame on you rather than kind of putting the hand and going, okay, the system that I'm using, or I was having a bad day or whatever, it just didn't work. They put the fault onto the client. That should never happen because no matter what the client does, it's not their fault. It's the therapist's responsibility. That's why we have the strategy call. Because if the client presents a problem that you're not able to deal with and you take them on, then that's your fault as a therapist. If the client comes across as being someone you don't want to work with and you take them on as a client, you could have made your life easy by not taking that person on as a client. Yeah. If the therapist doesn't have any kind of strategy call with you first, to me, that means that they're not particularly focused on helping you and being honest with you. If they can't help you, they need to be upfront and go, you know what, I'm really sorry, I can't help you. You need to go and talk to this person or that person or refer yourself back to your GP. That to me is not a good therapist if they're not able to do that. A desperate therapist is not a good therapist. Because if they're focused on the end result, on the process, and they need the external validation, going, oh my God, Paul, you're amazing, you're so wonderful, you're just out of this world, then they're focused on themselves. They're focused on external validation. They can't be good therapists because that means they're going to push and push and push and push and push and push, not necessarily in the right places to try and get that result. And our job isn't to get results. Our job is to help the client achieve a result for the problem that they've presented with. So yes, there are such a thing as bad therapists.